On Sports Central, the coaches back-to-back for In Vogue. Top people in 2 stories.
On 882 6PR.
And let's go straight into the Fremantle Dockers camp where we're joined by their coach, Ross Lyon. G'day, Roscoe.
G'day, Brad. G'day, Carl.
Now, mate, let's begin at the beginning. You seem to have won the toss. You're kicking with what appeared to be a bit of a breeze, but the boys wanted to send the ball to the outer side. Was that your direction?
Oh, not that I'm aware of, no.
No, you straight out with a lot of purpose at quarter time. I thought that you must have been absolutely filthy because I thought you had to take a calculated risk, not just any risk. I think you had to have a calculated risk to get the ball onto your side of the ground where you were coaching to have the best chance of even scoring in the first quarter.
I don't know if you're down there or not. There wasn't much wind. It was almost perfect conditions, really. I think the wind blew up. There wasn't much wind, but we certainly spoke about it's not a symmetrical ground, so the bottom side is a lot wider, so the top side is the attacking side. So just because it's you're more through the corridor, it's a bit narrower. So certainly, we're aware of that, and I think we just went short a few times on the far side when we could have kicked it to Aaron and worked off in front and square. But look, the bottom line is we couldn't win the ball. So you can talk about attack and defence, but if you can't win the ball in the clinches, you're not going to go forward too often. In today's footy, if you're trying to attack from your D50, you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
So is that why you were so angry at quarter time when you straight out? Because there was no breaking off in the groups. You said, you blokes, just get in here because I've got something to say.
Yeah, which I tend to do a bit anyway. Not always, but quite often I'll grab them at the start and I want to address the group and then send them to their line coaches and then call them back in and send them out again. So I just thought we fragmented really quickly. We've been up and down a little bit, and we understand Hawthorn there's a reason that they're one of the premiership favourites. They're an elite list, but certainly the players and myself expected a better showing, and we're just unpredictable to each other, and we didn't play with the intensity that we were demanding of each other, and I just really asked what was going on. So as players can look to you for leadership game day, they're hungry to be led under pressure, particularly the youthfulness of our team. So, and then I thought the first 6 minutes of the second, I know it's not much, but the first 6, I think we had the first 3 shots, as we did in the first quarter, I think. And then we just really fell away badly halfway through in the quarter, and it was really quite embarrassing there at one point.
Out of all that, what disappointed you the most?
Oh, look, the fundamental, you can't address mechanics until you get effort. So we're trying to build to be a team that, regardless of the great teams get it done, really, wherever they're playing, who they're playing against, and then you can lose going forward. I think that's the big thing when you're a developing list. You can lose but have improved, and you can't just stop trying and wait. Well, this game's gone, and we'll wait till next week, then we'll give our best effort. You've got to keep practicing, trying to be excellent the whole time. So then it just becomes, the way you are, and we're not at that level yet. So we're inconsistent, and well, that was our worst result for the year. There's no doubt about that. But the beauty of footy is you get an opportunity the week after. So we need to work hard and improve and stick together. And we're playing the top of the table. I think team just happens to be the Eagles in the Derby. So
I think most people identify that you had words with Pav. Was that healthy, or was that obviously it's a very emotional state? I mean, how did that play out?
Well, just let me clear that up. I think whoever was it, Glenn Forum or something? Is that his name? The journo? He's actually Foreman. He rang, spoke to our media person today, basically apologised for the inaccuracy, and he went off hearsay from a photographer. So it was completely inaccurate. And I remember the conversation. It was Matthew was going forward, and I said he was going on. It was just about where do you want to go? I said, mate, just go on ball and flick someone forward. Don't worry about him. We just wanted to get our skipper around the action. So look, I think that just highlights the lack of rigour at times, and everyone trying to be heard above the noise, and then people start to pick it up. But look, that's just good old-fashioned beat-up and nonsensical. So it certainly hasn't caught. And the fact is, he's rang and apologised today for his lack of rigour, doing it by hearsay from a photographer. So I think that puts it in context.
Really important game, this one, Ross, where you're placed now. A couple of games now adrift of certainly the top 3 teams, and on the edge in 8th spot of the 8, and not only have you got West Coast, you've got Adelaide, who are going beautifully, Richmond, who have certainly been very competitive, Essendon, and Collingwood in the games following the bye. So it's a big road ahead in these next 5 games, and it'll shape whether you can actually make a dent in the 8 and finish high in the 8, or maybe not even make the 8.
Yeah, but we would have said that round 1, Geelong, and then we play Carlton, and you're going to Sydney, and then, you're playing Saints on Friday night. I mean, it's unrelenting, this business. There's good teams around every corner, and, and I certainly don't focus on must-win games and 8-point games. The reality is we've got to keep improving and train to improve and give our best effort, and results tend to take care of themselves. Are you good enough? Well, we'll find out, but if you walk away from those 5 weeks that you've just highlighted and you couldn't give any more effort, well, you walk away with no regrets, and you know you're improving. So you just know you need more talent,
Well, given the lack of effort on the weekend, are you liable to make changes, or are you liable to back those guys in and say, well, show me what you can really do?
No, I think there'll have to be a change, you would think. I don't think we just roll on and accept we're not performing, so I certainly don't live in that basket. And then it's about sitting at match committee and making an informed decision and not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So, no, I think there has to be some rigour applied to what we want to stand for and reward those underneath that are giving their all and waiting for an opportunity. So, look, at the end of the day, we're 5-3. I think there's, on points, we're equal 6. So, if you want, we've done a reasonable amount right. We're really disappointed, but we're pretty keen to sort of get to work and see where we're at. So, we'll sit in the match committee and make an informed decision. And, we'll start with just, winning the ball and getting numbers to the ball and trying to pressure what is a very good team, But I thought the Saints really had their moments on the weekend. They were right in the game.
They certainly were. And I've said to you before that, look, if you had accuracy on the scoreboard, which already you've pointed out early in this game was a few opportunities, scoreboard pressure, the most pressure you can put on. Michael Walters is one of those players that you've challenged. I've got a couple of emails and SMSs, and first one from Dave and the second one from Mark. They both asked
the same. Not Dave Walters, is it?
No. Well, he doesn't got the surname. I can't answer that for you. But Dave and Mark have both asked about Sonny Walters. Where's he at?
Yeah, look, he was brought up at match committee last week. The small forwards well and truly alive in AFL footy. So just seeing on the weekend when the Saints went smaller and just had one tour with Revolt, they looked really dangerous and really gave the defence of the Eagles a lot of trouble. So, yeah, he certainly delivered again on the weekend. So he's back in full training. And, look, to this point, he's a good story because he's gone back and decided, I want in, and he's done the work, and he's been rewarded with in full training with the group, and he's starting to play good footy. And I'm sure if he keeps on this path, he'll play senior football this year. Now, is it going to be this week? Time will tell.
This one from Paul of Palmyra, I'm a Freo supporter. Can Fremantle run like West Coast? 3 ruckmen. So he'd rather have Clark, by the looks of this, actually play more forward and have Griffin in the side. Your comments on that to Paul?
Yeah, Paul makes a good point. I mean, looking at Nat Nui and Cox, is it too much for Aaron on his own with Clark? Does he need more assistance? And John Griffin played well on the weekend, and I'm on record as saying we're pretty keen to have a look at that model. So, but then on the same time, I heard Lee Matthews Friday night with the Cats. You play 2 and you lose a runner. So we'll have to sit down and have a look at that too.
Ross, of course, a big game, this one against the West Coast Eagles. Has anybody pointed out to you how important it is, or you've sucked it up yourself and said, because obviously you've got Peter Sumich by your side. The coaches in the past have said, it's just another game. But we all know, in the media and the fans, it ain't just another game.
Well, it's certainly important, the rivalry and, the local derby. And, it's as big a rivalry as you can get in Perth. So that's pretty important. And it's really important that we bounce back and give great effort. So I think there's been some cracker games and, so we'd like to produce one, be great for the fans. And I think it's great at the stadium that you get 2 sets of fans there. Normally there's one small band that gets, drowned out by either the Dockers or the West Coast supporters. So it'll be a bit more of traditional footy than I'm used to, both armies rolling up and getting it on. So, yeah, it should be fantastic.
The other players that you've got at your disposal, Loa, Silvani. Now, how's Morabito going and how's McPhee going? That's that one's from Michael.
What's that, Michael Worsfold? I can't say that. Hey, he's not bad, Busher. Bring up yourself. Certainly McPhee, yeah, he'll be in the mix. We'll hope for it was 1 week, so, we'll train Wednesday and Friday. Morabito played 60 minutes and he's building, so obviously a bit of work to do there yet. And Nick Lower played his second full game, I think it was, after having really, he's just missed so much footy. Like, he's a clearance specialist, so we'd love to get him in, but he's probably a bit thin on the ground this week, although Mark Stone, the stoppage coach, is pushing for him.
Look, you obviously had a disappointing performance on the weekend, but so did the West Coast Eagles the week before, and they were able to turn around pretty quickly. It's interesting, isn't it, how much of the game is played above the shoulders?
Well, I think we know you've hit the nail on your head, don't you? So our capacity to run can disappear, and it was the same game, but our intensity in our run and that's what happens when the scoreboard gets away from you. It fuels belief, or really dissipates belief if it gets away. So it's pretty important we jumped out of the blocks well this weekend and play with an intensity to keep us in the game, because we're not just going to do it on talent. We understand against the best we're a little bit thin, but we know when we get away to numbers performance and play to what we value, which is, an uncompromising attack on the ball and uncompromising effort, that will be in most games. And I think the year's proven that. It's been our first blowout, I think, So, we're pretty keen to, and no one more than myself, to try and make last week an aberration. And so, there's no sacrificial burnings going on down at the club this week, but we'll aim to highlight where we need to improve and then train it and try and pick the right bunch to do that.
And Ross, just quickly, I know coaches would be loath to admire the opposition a little bit, but geez, I tell you what, if you could get a DVD of the direct and referred pressure of Cyril Rioli in the second quarter, that's exactly how you'd want your blokes to go about it, wouldn't you?
Well, you've nailed that. And at the review, they're all all their players are in tomorrow. But at the end of the day, Cyril could have been shepherded, certainly on one of the occasions. So that'd be more care for our teammate and protecting, it's certainly something we can focus on and, shepherd off the chaser. So we're a bit apathetic in doing that, which was a real disappointment to us.
I just had a chuckle. George has just sent one in on the SMS series. He says, Ross sounds like he's just rolling along. Try getting a rocket up them.
I'm
you don't reckon you're giving him a rocket? You reckon
I'm a pretty relaxed sort of person, apparently. Look, it's just, leadership's got to stay calm and considered and then, talk quietly and carry a big stick. So.
One of our colleagues, Harvey Deegan, wants to know about Kepler Bradley. Where do you see his career at?
No, he's been really unfortunate, Kepler, over the last couple of weeks. He's been out injured and he had we thought he broke his leg. So really knocked him around, and he had a hairline fracture. He was really courageous over the NAB Cup series and played the early game. So we thought he'd broken his leg, but he's clear. He's been able to have some treatment that's really stabilising the leg, and, we're really keen for Kepler to get back in. He's played an important role for us at times.
Good on you, Ross. Thanks for your time. Looking forward to seeing you and Woosher in the red later in the week for the Carlton Mid Derby. It promises to be a beauty.
Yeah, let's hope it's a cracker. Thanks, Brad. Cheers, Carl.
Ross Lyon there from the Fremantle Dockers.